In this world that we have created, in this place that we live, in the blink of an eye, baby, the darkness slips in. Love lights the world and unites the lovers for eternity. Love breaks the chains. Love aches for every one of us. Love takes the tears and the pain and turns it in to the beauty that remains. Now, you guys remember I told you I am one who will send someone something like that to see if they can pass my little test. So someone asked me, is it true that Aquarius will test you? Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you all about it right after this introduction. Hey guys, it's Queen on Set Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody else who might like it too, and don't forget to drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And if you have time, stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to talk about my favorite positive comments from previous videos, and one of them might be yours. Also, if you would like to get a reading done, please email me and I'll give you an appointment. If you want to hit me up on social media, feel free. Underneath this video is all my information. Likewise, if you want to become one of my patrons on Patreon, that information is underneath this video as well. Now, Aquarius be testing people. So yeah, okay. Okay, I've been known to send somebody something. And to be honest with you, it's usually not a friend. I don't usually test my friends, you know. Usually if I'm testing someone, and Aquarius will do this sometimes, it's usually a love interest, to be honest with you. And the reason that Aquarius will test you is to see what you're going to do. They want to see if you're trustworthy. That's a big one. Aquarius are big on loyalty, and we don't like snakes around. Aquarius have so much, you know, so many times when we've been betrayed or gossiped about or stabbed in the back. So we're always trying to see if the person is cool or not. So if it's a love interest, and sometimes with friends too, it depends on the situation, but always, for me, always with love interest. We're trying to see if they're trustworthy. We're trying to see, not just that though, like some of the times, like with that song I was talking about, it's not really to see if they're trustworthy, it's to see where their head is at. It's to see how deep they go. Because I can't be with a person who's not deep. If they're not a deep thinker, if they're not intense, if they're not romantic, there's certain things I just can't do because I've done them before and I hated it. I hate being with somebody who's not romantic because I don't feel anything. I hate being in a relationship with somebody and not feeling anything. I've been in that situation more times than I care to admit. I've been with more than one person and felt nothing. And I don't like that. And I noticed that when the person is more intense, when they're more poetic, when they're romantic, when they're more deep, I feel them. I feel something. So for me, it's not just are they trustworthy, it's are they suitable for me? Because my little test, somebody once said to me, did I think my tests, and do other Aquarius, do we think our tests, you know, are going to give us a perfect person? The average Aquarius knows better than to even look for a perfect person, because we know, those of us who have logical sense know it doesn't exist. Nobody's perfect. But the idea with the little test is to see if they're right for you. Their responses, because a lot of the times there is no right or wrong answer. Like with that song, if I send somebody that song and ask them what did they think of it, or if I ask them to analyze it, or I ask them to do something along those lines, there isn't really a right or wrong answer. You know, they can pretty much say anything as long as it goes along with the topic and it makes sense. I'm gonna be like, okay, you know, and I'm gonna think about it, you know, think that it's interesting. But if they say something, let's say they say something disturbing. One time, a long time ago, I was talking to one of my friends, and I have a tendency to send people songs. Now, in this particular case, I wasn't sending the song for a reason. Me and this friend used to send each other music. He was into music I had never heard before, and I was into music that he never, paid no attention to. I'm all into 80s music and love ballads and stuff like that, and he was into this other like techno world kind of stuff that I had heard but not much. So sometimes we would send each other our favorite songs. So I sent him this song. It's one of my favorite songs, and when I sent him the song, I just sent it to him because I like it. I thought he would like it too. And he sent back a critique about the song, which was weird because we never did that. That wasn't us. Me and my lovers do that, but me and this person, he a dude. He not a lover. He just some dude. So he sent back a critique about the song, and I backed up from him immediately because his critique of the song was so disturbing. It's a love song. It's a love song about some guy who in love with some girl and he wants her to notice him. Very basic song, basic chorus, all very basic. He went into some type of, I don't know if he was speaking from experience or what, but he was basically telling me that the guy in the song was lying. He really doesn't love her. He just wants something from her. He's manipulating her or something like that. And he might even be dangerous. And I was like, what? How did you get that from this little corny ass song? Like, what are you talking about? And it disturbed me. His whole, it was like a paragraph. And he had like analyzed this song, and it did disturb me. And I backed up off of him because even though that wasn't a test for him, he failed anyway. He totally failed. It wasn't even a test for him, but just the darkness in his response made me feel like he was talking about himself, and it scared the shit out of me. And I just backed up slowly and faded to black. I ain't talked to him in years. I just was like, oh, okay. But like I said, those are the kinds of things that we get from those type of things. Aquarius might send you a poem, Or another thing that we do more commonly is we may bring up a situation, something we saw on the news, something we heard about at the gym, and just see how you respond to it. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that the Aquarius is very observant. So some things we say, we just say in passing, and some things we say with purpose. It depends on the situation. But this is only when we're not certain about you. Once an Aquarius makes up their mind and we're certain about you, we rarely feel the need to continue testing you. We just, most of the time it's upfront just to see who and what you are. What am I really dealing with? Because most people send their representative to meet you. They don't come with themselves. They come with the best version of themselves. And 6 months later, when you see them digging up their nose, 6 months later, when you see her without makeup on for the first time, 6 months later is when you see the real person. So the Aquarius will test you in little ways like that just to see who we're dealing with. And most of the time, like I said, a lot of times there is no right or wrong answer. It's like no way. The only way you could fail is if you say something that's really disturbing, like in the case that I was talking about. Or like in a situation, like I'll give you an example. An Aquarius might say, yeah, did you read about what's happening in X country? Just to hear what your opinion is about it. Because based on your opinion, we can figure out different things, such as, are you racist? Are you classist? Are you misogynist? A lot of men that I've come across in my lifetime, I stopped talking to, because just from having these types of conversations, platonic conversations, I could tell that they was misogynist, and you can't be my friend. I can't be dealing with you and that bullshit. Take that over there. I've come across women, and I'm talking to them, and I can see with women, it's not so. I don't like weak women. I don't mean to be rude. I don't mean to be any type of elitist kind of way. But I'm very turned off by weak women. And normally, if I meet a woman and when I say a weak woman, I'm not saying that we're all perfect and strong all the time, but I'm talking about the kind of woman who can't take care of herself. She always crying. She's always waiting for a man or another person to do something for her. These types of women, I'm first going to try to empower her to do things for herself. And in a lot of those instances, if she refuses to let go of that helplessness, I can't stick around, because it's going to be constantly draining for me. Not that every woman has to be, because I'm a tough woman, and I don't expect every woman to be as tough as I am. I don't expect every person to be as tough as I am. But I can't be around somebody who's whining, can't do for themselves, always waiting for somebody else. Well, my boyfriend said that I can't. I remember this one woman told me her boyfriend said she couldn't spend her money. And this was just in a general conversation. We were on the bus. This is when I was young girl. And she said to me, my boyfriend said I can't spend all my money. And I looked at her thinking to myself, the money you just made, your boyfriend is telling you how to spend? To me, that's a weak mindset. That you're allowing somebody else to tell you what to do with your hard-earned money. Now, I could see if he was, helping her make financial investments or something like that, but that wasn't the case. She had just got paid. He wanted her to loan him some money to get what he wanted. So he didn't want her to spend it because he wanted to borrow it. And then he was going to give it back when he felt like it. And I looked at her like, and that makes sense to you? Women like that, I can't. The first thing I'm going to do is try to liberate her. I'm like, dog, come on. The first thing I'm going to do is try to liberate her. And if she keep on talking that smack, I can't stick around. I can't deal with that. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me. I can't deal with that. The same way I can't deal with men who are misogynists, I can't deal with women like that. That really bothers me. So these little tests are for an Aquarius to see who you are, and if they're going to be able to deal with who you are because of who I am. You see? And another thing I'm going to tell you about Aquarius, and this is those of us that do this little testing thing, a lot of us do not like to be tested. Because if somebody does the same thing to me, I'm like, how dare you? Like, how dare you, And I might answer the question, but most times I probably won't, But if somebody sent me something like a song or something like that and was asking me to analyze it from the other way, and I realized that they were testing me, I would be like, oh, no, you did not. If we're going to play anybody's game, it's going to be mine. How dare you? So Aquarius don't necessarily like to be tested, but many of us will test you. Now, I think that it can be problematic, and I think it's better to just get to know the person organically over time. Just watch them, observe them, spend time with them, let them get to know the real you, and as that happens, you can bond. And I really do think that's better than testing a person, honestly. But Aquarius are known for that. So if you think your Aquarius is testing you, they probably are, and it's not malicious. It's just to see who you are. So just show them who you are. And if who you are is compatible with who they are, you got a love connection. Okay? Now let's check out these positive comments. Lily, what's up, Lily? My buddy. Lily said, I realized that today is also 10/21. Oh, Lily left this message on October 21st. On October 21st, I uploaded a video about Alyssa Bustamante, an infamous Aquarius, right? Lily told me, come to find out, the day I uploaded it is the day the crime was committed. I didn't even see that. I was like, oh my goodness. So Lily said, I realized that today also is the 21st of October, and that's when it happened. Mental health is no joke, and I wish people were more willing to get help for it. Sad for both families. Yeah, the case of Alyssa Bustamante and her victim, Elizabeth Olten, is a very sad case. So if you missed last week's infamous Aquarius, that's what she's talking about. And I was so shocked when I found out. I uploaded it on the same day that it happened. I didn't even notice that. I was just like, wow, that's really a sign that this is something that's important for people to know. Mental health is not no joke. Beautiful Contradiction. Hi, great name on YouTube. I said of all the time I said all of the time, I do not negotiate with terrorists, especially emotionally abusive ones. Okay? Ain't no negotiating with no narcissist. Ain't no negotiating with no abuser, period. If a person is abusive, you cannot negotiate with them. It will be nice, but you can't. Because at the end of the day, you have one person, you, who is more than likely sane, and you have the other person whose logic is off. If a person is a narcissist or an abuser, something upstairs isn't right. And the problem is that those of us who are upstairs right expect the other person to deal with us the way we're dealing with them, and they can't. If somebody is sick, they can't do things the same way a healthy person can. So if you're in a relationship with a person who's unhealthy, but you're expecting them to have healthy responses, you're tripping. You're kidding yourself. They can't. They literally can't do it. So she's right. I would not spend time trying to negotiate with them. That's why I don't talk to any of the people I knew, Voldemort and all of them from the past. That's why I don't talk to them. Because it's not that I have hard feelings or I'm angry with them, but it's because I know that there's no point to it. It's the same toxic cycle. Wherever I left them, they're in the same spot. Guaranteed. So that's people that you need not bother with. Okay? All right, guys. Time for me to get going. So come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.